Growing up, my dad was always giving my sisters and I so much advice. And at the time he was doing it, it kind of felt like, okay, Dad, relax. Like, just let us live a little. Just let us live. And sometimes he would get so frustrated because he would see I was not paying attention, and it'd be like, Lala, ungathi your head is in the clouds. Like, just listen, calm down. He used to think I was a bit too airy-fairy at times. And when he was saying them, I didn't realize how much I was actually listening. I may not have been taking the information in the way he needed me to. And I don't even think I was taking the information in the way I thought I was. But my spirit, my soul, my everything was really and my heart were just holding on to these lessons that are so valuable, are proving to be very valuable. The three things ubab'Tshabalala used to say, he would kill me if you heard me calling him ubab'Tshabalala. The three things Daddy used to say were, number one, never despise humble beginnings. Wow. I used to think every time he would say this, in my mind, I'd be thinking, people who are successful always love to make it sound like they've struggled. They always want to come with a struggle story. How naive. Because that really is what it is. Nobody you see today who is successful, and even people who've passed, were successful without struggle or without humble beginnings. Even people who have inherited wealth, even people who have had companies handed down to them, in order to keep those things, in order to maintain them, in order to push them and grow them, they had to experience their own journeys of struggle. And so when he used to say it, I really never absorbed it as much as I should have. I never really understood it. And I, again, used to think everybody who does well always wants to come with this. He was successful. His dad was successful. I mean, for goodness sakes, my grandfather was a millionaire. He did very well. And especially for those times, he did very, very, very well for himself. And when my dad speaks about, he never used to speak about himself. He was a very humble man. So he used to pull lessons from my grandfather without realizing that I, as his child, was observing it through him. He used to say to us all the time, it's important that when you start your own business, at some point, it's going to start like this. It's going to be very small. And he used to say, don't despise having to do things that you might think are beneath you, or don't despise having to do things. In fact, he never used to say, do things that you may perceive to be beneath you. He used to make it clear there's actually nothing beneath you. But I'm saying, for us, like some of the things we may perceive as being beneath us, or some of the things like, again, we just really, really don't want to have to do. Not because of anything other than I just don't have the time. And he used to say to me, if you don't have the time, if you think you're too good for that, why should somebody else commit to this? Why should somebody else do it? Angithi, it's your dream. It's your dream. So why can't you do it? And wow. He used to speak about how his father used to wake up at 5 a.m. and prepare. He had a small little shop, and he used to wake up 5 a.m, go and sweep, go and mop. Even though they had somebody come in and clean, he would do the first round. Go in, sweep, mop, help my grandmother prepare what needed to be prepared for the store. If it meant helping clean chicken feed, whatever it was, doing all of that stuff. And he used to speak about Mkhulu all the time and say, Mkhulu did it all. And it's so funny because when I started Naraya, my clothing line, obviously I'm not a seamstress. I can't physically sew, but when I started it, I said to myself, I want to be very hands-on. I want to be very hands-on. initially, when I started doing the research and asking friends, they were giving me advice like, why don't you do it this way, this way, this way? And I figured, actually, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to be hands-on. I want to do every bit of the work that I expect my seamstresses to do, except for the sewing, because obviously that's not a skill I acquired. But everything from the fabric shopping, I don't play about that. I go to the fabric stores and I look and I hunt. I put on sneakers, and if I have to spend an hour or two in that fabric store looking for the fabrics I want, I do it. I make sure that when my seamstresses come to my house and they're working, that they're good, they're taken care of, they're comfortable so that they can do the work I need them to do. I make sure that I do my own quality control, my own quality check, making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. I make sure that I clean up after them. If there's anything they've left, I clean up the units. I'm the one who sits up late at night doing A, B, C, D, with other things too, with other businesses. I make sure that I'm the person who's doing those things. And for me, that is such a fundamental and crucial lesson, because I look at other people and sometimes even listen to some of the business horrors that are going on out there. And I think to myself, if only this person had taken time to understand those things and perhaps do those things themselves, this probably wouldn't have happened. So when it comes to your business, your dream, your vision, what you want to see happen, come to life, mommy, papi, there is nothing that you should view beneath you. There's nothing you should think of as being too beneath you. That's what I meant to say. You should be willing and prepared to do what you need to do to get your business up and running. If I don't make sense in certain places, I'm sorry, I've had a long content day. The second thing ubab'Tshabalala used to say to us all the time is, get up. Don't be afraid to fail. That sounds like the most cliche of them all. But let me tell you something. That is the most fundamental. That is the golden egg of them all. That is the one, not being afraid to fail. People are afraid of rejection and afraid of failing. We all are. That's a fact. And sometimes that fear is what keeps us back from going ahead and trying these things out, these things we've so badly wanted to do, these things we've planned to do. We don't do them out of fear of failing. And he used to say to us, or me all the time, like, my child, you're going to fail. That's a fact. You are going to fail. When it comes to business, you're not going to get it right the first time, the second, the third, the fourth. And you need to use that time as time to grow, time to learn. Let me give you guys a bit of a story time over here. So the first time I ever shot a campaign, this is a true story. And I haven't really shared it with anybody. The first time I shot a campaign, I had posted a video online. As I said, never wanted to be a model. I posted a video online talking about body politics, hoping people would, engage with me, this, that, and the other. Eventually, a brand reached out and they said, we've been seeing your activity online. We would love for you to fly out to Cape Town and be a part of the shoot. And I said, okay. I mean, again, I didn't want to be a model, but I kind of felt like this could further my agenda of wanting to be a motivational speaker. So I decided I'm going to do it. That was probably 3 weeks before, or 2.5 weeks before, because they don't give you that much notice. Maybe like 2.5 weeks before, because it was a day trip, before we were supposed to shoot. And I told my mom, I told my sisters, I was super excited, told my very close friends. And then 3 days after I got that phone call and I had confirmed, your friend over here went to visit my sister at her apartment, was shooting content for my IG page. I tripped and I fell so badly that I fractured my foot in 3 different places. Now, mind you, I've broken both my feet before. I fell off a jungle gym and I broke both my feet. So this particular foot, I was breaking for the second time. I'd had an operation and now I broke it again. The pain was something else. It was something else, and it was building. And initially I thought, no, I can hold myself. No. If I can just hold myself after these 3 weeks, I'll be fine. It didn't work like that. Anybody who's fractured bones, the pain will drive you up the wall. And so I had to go to the hospital, get x-rays, and they said, look, you've actually broken your bone, your foot, in 3 different places, and we fractured it. And because you've had an operation on this foot before, many years ago, at this point, we're not looking to go in and mend certain things. This is reconstruction now, because your foot is a mess. And I remember being in the surgeon's room and crying and being like, my photo shoot, okay? And I didn't know how to tell him, because I thought he would think, Mommy, your foot is broken. Like, what photo shoot are you talking about now? But I was like crying and thinking about it. So I left there in a moon boot, and I said to him, I'll obviously have to give it some thought. I did an operation many years ago. It didn't work. It wasn't successful. I don't know that I want this much time taken away from me again to go through this again. It's painful. It's a process. And so he said, okay, I'll let you decide. In the meantime, I'll put you in a moon boot. So got my moon boot on, and I was going back and forth in my mind, like, do I tell this brand that I'm shooting with that I fractured my foot? If I tell them, they're going to tell me not to come. They'll find somebody else. They'll replace me. They'll be concerned for me, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, I decided I wasn't going to say anything. And as time was building closer to the shoot, something inside of me was like, just give up, give up, give up. You can't do this. You've fractured your foot. Don't be silly. You're going to go there and hurt it more. Everything inside of me was telling me, do not go. And I called one of my very close guy friends, who happens to be a very successful producer in Nigeria. And when I had fractured my foot, the day I had to go to the hospital, and I told him, I'll call you later to tell you what they say. When I called him, a couple of days before I was supposed to leave for the shoot, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do it. And he was like, Mommy, stand up, video call me. Video called him, put my phone down, and he was like, are you able to move even just a bit in your cast? And I'm like, yeah, I walked for him. I'm like, it's not that painful. The moon boot is obviously securing it. I'm just feeling like I'm going to get on the plane or something bad's going to happen. I'm going to break the foot now, not just fractured. Like, I was giving him all these things. And he's like, you're worrying about things that haven't even happened. Don't do this to yourself. And he was like, the more I hear you speak, the more I feel like you need to do this. The more I feel your breakthrough is coming through this, because of how much whatever it is resisting. Lala, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And he convinced me to do it. And from the day I woke up that morning, he was on the phone with me. I had to get them to fetch me. As soon as I arrived from the airport, I had to get fetched with a wheelchair to get onto the plane. Wheeled off that plane, and I got to Cape Town, and I was like, surprise. And they were like, what happened? And I was like, no, it's nothing too serious. I just hurt my foot, so they put it in a moon boot just to make sure that, I don't hurt it more. And they were like, this really looks serious. And I was still playing it down like, no, it's really not that serious. Look, took off the moon boot, kind of tried to step on it, and they were looking at me like, the cameraman was like, don't. I'll figure this out. I'll figure out how we can make the shoot look the bomb without you doing too much. And he pulled out a chair and he made me sit. It was one of these high chairs, and he made me sit on it, and then the other models kind of stand next to me, and he was joking throughout the photo shoot, like saying things along the lines of, own your throne, own your crown, mommy, keep going, you're the queen, this, that, and the other. And I don't think he realized how amazing I felt, because I felt so foolish being the only one that was sitting down. And then at some point he got another chair and let another lady sit, because I think he could see I was also feeling really awkward. And he was like, no, we are going to make this work. We're going to make this look good. Don't worry. And was that photo shoot not a success and the beginning of my career as a model? Because after that particular photo shoot was in a magazine. And after that, I was getting call after call, booking after booking after booking. And here I find myself as a plus size model who has done 4 runway shows for major brands: Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, AFI, Congo Fashion Week, Heineken Lagos Fashion Week. I mean, this was really the opening. That photo shoot was what opened this door up for me. And every time I think of this message of not giving up, I go back to that. I go back to how I believe with all of my heart my career started. I go back to that moment. God needed me to understand a particular message. Even if he had to keep reminding me of it, he needed me to understand that message my dad kept on pushing in me, which was obviously through him as well, which was, you don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. And so every time I'm going through a tough time when it comes to my brand and my business, and I'm frustrated and I'm feeling all sorts of things, I go back to that and I'm like, my whole career started with a fractured foot, and nobody would have blamed me if I decided not to board that plane. Nobody. I could have sat there and said the pain was so bad, which it was. I was on painkillers. Nobody would have blamed me. But to have taken that leap of faith and to have trusted God and to have trusted that I would have gotten on that plane, everything was going to be okay, and I was going to go there and do what I needed to do and come back safely and get back in bed and just elevate my foot and be okay. Wow, 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 wow. Guys, I know sometimes it gets tough and it's frustrating, and this isn't just for people in business. This is for people who are even in 9-to-5s, people who don't have work, just different areas of our life. It gets frustrating in our love lives, in our family lives, in relationships at work, whatever it is. When it gets so frustrating and we're struggling, we have this almost temptation to give up. Don't. You don't know what's on the other side. And that's a lesson I will always be grateful for, and I will keep on remembering. The other lesson he always said to me, which for me is everything, was the lifestyle will come. The lifestyle will come. And when he used to say it, I never quite understood what he was on about. I never quite understood why he was going on about it. It's only now that I'm within, as a business owner, doing what I'm doing, hustling, making sure that this is taken care of and that is taken care of, am I learning what he meant when he said the lifestyle will come, which is stop chasing all the pretty things, the shiny things, the sparkly things. Those things will come. The beginning of every and any business is a hustle. It is a hustle. It is a grind. It is you having to work stupidly hard and not get rewarded the way you want to be rewarded. And this is where your passion is tested. He used to say, everybody makes the mistake of, well, not everybody, a lot of people make the mistake of, as soon as they get that bit of money, that extra, that nice check, that cute coin, they want to go and spend it and splurge and this, that, and the other. And he used to say, don't make that mistake. When you make money, you reinvest it. You reinvest it. You reinvest it. Yes, it's important to pay yourself, but at the beginning, what you're getting is going to be peanuts anyway. So keep reinvesting. Reinvest. Put it back into your business. Invest, 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 invest. Only when your business is at a certain level. And he was like, and believe me, you'll know the level. You'll know it. Your business wits, your smarts, your intelligence, it will grow during this process. You'll know that level I'm talking about. Only then can you be about that lifestyle? He's always known me. He's always known that his daughter is a liker of things. Like, he's always known my dream car, the areas I want to live in, the homes I want to own, the type of stuff I want to... I mean, he used to laugh at some of the things I would come home with, and I'd be like, look what I bought myself, Dad. And he would just be like... So I gave you X amount for the month. You spent X amount. How are you going to survive? And I used to say, I'll figure it out. I'd figure it out. And he would look at me like, I know what you mean by that. You'll figure it out is come back and ask for more money, which is what I would do. So he used to say it over and over and over again, like, la, la, I'm telling you, the lifestyle will come. And it goes back to a time I was with a friend, a guy friend, and I remember this was the first time he saw my car, and he was like, why don't you get a rich man to get your car? And I said to him, why do I need a rich man to get me a car? If as long as my car can move from point A to point B, I really couldn't be bothered right now. My mind is in the game. The game right now is building my business. I would rather be driving this car, which was a Ford Fiesta, the 2013, I think it was. It was a really cute car, actually. I would rather be driving this car, the Ambiente. I'd rather be driving this car than driving any other car and be worrying about payments and be worrying about the petrol and how much money it's going to cost me and this, that, and the other. All to be about smoke and mirrors and presenting something that I know I cannot sustain. I said to him, homeboy, I sleep at night very well, knowing that the life I'm living right now, I can actually afford. The life I'm living right now, I'm actually about it. I'm not about to go out there and start buying up cars and certain shoes and bags and this, that. That's not where I am right now. It's not where I am right now. I could tell he was just like, you know, get with it. But I've just never understood that mentality. And I guess it goes back to the fact that even when I didn't think I was paying attention to what my dad was saying, I really was, because that was something I've always had in me. Like, I don't need to impress anybody. I don't. Right now, what I need is for my business to grow, for my business to truly make money, for my business to step into the vision I have for it. That's what I need. I don't need to show you guys anything. I don't need to I don't need it. I don't need the lifestyle. It's fine. I don't need the lifestyle. So for anybody out there who is going into business, for anybody out there who is working for somebody else, 9-to-5 vibes as well, and you're looking to progress and to get that promotion and to grow in the company, whatever it is, these lessons, or at least I hope these lessons are lessons you can take and really implement them into your life and let them be embedded in your brain. Let them be embedded in your brain. Let them be of value. Because really, when I look back at ubab'Tshabalala and everything he used to say, I used to think, and now I'm like, wow, the value of that advice. I really hope this advice is valuable to you guys as well.